Yeah. Hi everyone. Welcome to the fourth webinar series of from my end. I'm starting a new initiative like twice a month kind of webinar, and I'm bringing other speakers to whosoever want to speak. Please let me know also. So that is one, and I'm covering mostly like what a Scrum Master and product owner, that area, and predominantly Scrum, but then I do cover Kanban. So please stay tuned on that. With that, let's go to the topic of today, that is different prioritization techniques. So before we go to that, I'm sharing a link. I want to this is accessible for everyone who's having a who has registered, so that's not at all a problem. Now you can use this Jamboard to speak about why we need prioritization. What is it achieving? What is a prioritization achieve? I think I'm going to mute all. I'm sorry. Okay. Guys, I'm muting all. So I have given a link to you guys about um, why why are we prioritizing requirements. I just want to know from you guys. It's available for everyone, and just click on the notes, sticky notes, type in your sticky, just press enter. That's prioritizing to getting best. Just prioritize it, save it. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. So let's see. I will take 5 minutes to for everyone to enter their thoughts. The link is shared in this chat window, so you can use that. So better utilization of time and resources, best results, limited resources, two limited resources. Okay. To ensure the business value achieved, please use the sticky notes than the marker to get faster ROI. Okay. To understand the need of the business, effective use of limited resources. So a lot of people were talking about limited resources, help team focus, okay, deliver most valued items to the client in an ordered way, better outcomes that team don't get blocked to get a MVP, okay, to deliver value soon. That's okay, we will arrange it later. Kindly use the sticky notes, which is the sticky notes icon, so that we can enter properly. If you use marker, you might not have that handwriting. Best outcomes, faster go to market. Okay, anything else? Faster go to market. Okay. To understand the need of the business, perfect. To understand, add more value to the customer, optimizing the ability to innovate, help understand what goes first, alignment, alignment with company's vision and goals to get valuable items lined first, deliver highest priority to the customer. Okay. So solving the right problem, that's perfect. So in decision making between solutions and keeping team focused. And thanks guys, let's come back to the slide. Now, why are we doing this prioritization exercise? It is not just in one for requirements only, whatever we are developing. The prioritization is happening every day in, day out in our life. Do we need to buy this shirt or that shirt? Do we need to go to a particular place or a different place? Those are all the prioritization changes and requirements change. And do I need to take care of my wife's priority or my priority? That's the most obvious one which we hear, married people hear every day. So a prioritization, when we speak about prioritization, it is an integral part of a decision making to ensure the needs of the users are met in an optimal manner. Yes, everyone was putting that exactly the same. And it also helps the stakeholders to decide core requirements of the team, sorry, core requirements of the system, which is nothing but the MVP which we wrote, to plan and select an ordered optimal set of software requirements for implementation in successive releases. It can be done in the same release in next 2 months, or it can take next 6 months in third release. It is possible, but then this prioritization helps us to order the backlog of requirements. Then trade-offs, absolutely right. We have a limited budget, limited people, limited time. In that constraint, we need to get the best out of it. And one the marketing team will say, I need X. The support team will say, I need Y. And the R&D will say, no, we need to do this architecture change, otherwise we cannot work. In that that will be a lot of constraints comes in. Not everything can be done in one day. So this is also one of the way to order the requirement which goes first. Then balance the business benefit of each requirement against its cost. Balance the implication of the requirements on architecture, future evaluation, because you are doing a product, not a project where there is an end date. But in a product, it's a long running thing. The day no one uses our work is the day the product closes, right? So in that kind of situation, you need to think also a future, and also to get the technical advantage and to optimize the market opportunity. There may be multiple softwares, multiple products available for the same thing. Jamboard is one which I am using. The same Jamboard is used, Miro is having, or there is another one called Klaxon, which I use in my organization. So what's special? What is the advantage I get from one over the other, right? So that the prioritization helps us to get those done easily. Okay. Now I want to know. Let's go back to the Jamboard again, to the next page. Various prioritization techniques that you used in your work. Let's take 5 minutes again, and let's put what is the prioritization techniques that you used. Rice, okay, perfect. Cost of delay. For people who don't have the Jamboard link, I will give you the link again. Oh, I'm sorry, Venkat. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to solve the link not opening in Apple thing. I'm really sorry. WSJF, Moscow, business value buckets, 5 Ys, perfect. Okay, rice has come, Moscow, WSJF, 5 Ys. Walking skeleton. Ah, that's interesting. WSJF, Moscow, Kano, perfect. Kano model. Any more? Ah, SWOT. SWOT is an analysis, correct? Cost of delay. Oh, product tree. Is that is prune the product tree? Experience based. Okay. Kano model. Okay. So anything else you have tried other than these list? Majority is like Moscow, WSJF, impact versus effort, ranking. There is a RISE model, perfect cost of delay, supports the story map, backbone, product manager decides. Wow. Okay. But how does the product manager decides? That's an interesting question, right? That is where the prioritization comes in. Value versus effort. Perfect. Okay. So let's move ahead, or should we need more time? If you need more time, just put a sticky, I will see it. Story points and business value. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So let's now come back to the presentation. I believe everyone is seeing the list of methods that are used or techniques that are used. If you see, there are many people who are doing Moscow. Some are doing WSJF. Some are doing purpose alignment. Yeah, that's nice one. Some of them are doing Kano and impact versus effort and cost of delay, 5 whys, walking skeleton. There's a lot of other methods also is used. Correct. So when you have registered for the session, I asked a question: what are the different methods that you used? This is just to take it as like a survey. So when I looked at it, this was my result. 41% of the people who joined this call today using Moscow, and the next highest number is WSJF, used by 13%. Kano is used by 7% of people. Some form of Eisenhower matrix, which is nothing but value versus effort, cost versus risk, effort versus cost, and business purpose versus time. There's a lot of other variants are there. So some are other form, some 6%, and every other technique, RISE, 5 whys, even ranking, all occupies the 34% of space. Okay, so Moscow, everybody knows what is it. So we will look into. There are, I have covered about I'm covering about 8 models, but I will not go deeper. This if we want, I can go deeper in further sessions. So the first one is Moscow. As we know, must have, should have, could have, won't have, what are all those, and how do we typically manage here is in a backlog we tend to have like 60% of the total effort is must haves. That's how we have it, and maximum 80% is like The 60 to 80 would be the should haves, and could have is remaining, and won't have is for sure we will not do it. The must have is nothing but our MVP. That's how we order it. And for must have, should have, and could have, what is the model that is used by product owners? How do they come to a conclusion that this is a must have feature? Any idea? uh, Let me unmute if I can without, oh, this one's, yeah, unmuting all. Yeah. How do the product owners decide whether this particular item is a must have or not? Any idea?
Based on the CBF?
What CVS?
CBF, critical
Oh,
business functionality.
critical business functionality, right? Okay. So in this kind of scenarios, what typically we do is we go for the next model. Yes, Moscow is useful, but to come to that must have set, should have set, could have set, we can use the other models. Like the next one, I'm just going to the WSJF for now, just to explain. What is WSJF? It is very simple. What is the business value we are going to get? What is the risk reduction? What is the opportunity enablement? Or what is the time criticality, the urgency factor? Or what is the cost of delay? These are the variables that we use to come across WSJF. The formula is very simple: cost of delay by duration. How does the cost of delay calculated? It is calculated through business value into time criticality into risk reduction or opportunity enablement. That is cost of delay. It gives the cost of delay. And duration, we know how much time it takes on an average to implement that. Now, the feature or the story or the epic or the theme that is having the highest number in WSJF will be chosen first. That is the must have. Okay. The next item, you can continuously order it based on the WSJF number. That is how we do the WSJF itself. When I was looking at, there was one slide share which was shared by Murali, who explained cost of delay in a much greater detail. It is there in slide share. You can go and look at it. Okay. So next one is Eisenhower matrix, which is nothing but cost versus value, or value versus cost, or value versus risk, or it can be multiple combination. All it does is put less effort, get high value, do it immediately. That becomes the must haves. Next one is high value, high effort. We need to do it. Let's do it. Then third one is less effort and kind of okay, not too much. Okay. The one which we will never do it is the high effort and low value. Okay. So this is Eisenhower metric. This is used for multiple purposes, for multiple things. It's not just used for your priority. It is even used for your to-do task. Today, what I should focus. Okay. Someone is posting something in this. Be high value, high risk. That's what mostly followed. Uh, for mature product, we use voice of the customer. Okay, that is a good one. Would not this be high value and high risk? That is no. See, what we look at is, will I get a high value by putting effort, less effort? Okay, if it is going to be high value by putting high effort, it would take some time. I won't realize it faster. The return will not be realized faster. So we typically go for quickly deliver the high value items. That is what we look at. The next one, if I if I just convert that WSJF numbers, that is these numbers that you saw, into Eisenhower matrix, it will look just like this. Do now, the higher numbers comes in do now. Do next is a little less after that. Don't do is the lowest numbers. Do later is low value, low effort. Okay. The low value, high effort is don't even do that. That is not even, that is going to waste our resources. So the next model we have, or before coming to Kano, let's have a discussion. What do you think? I think everyone is unmuted. So if you have any questions, anything, any comment, we can talk. Let's take a couple of minutes.
So here, if there are a lot of items on do now,
Yes.
what would happen? How do we prioritize them?
So if everything is going to be do now, if it is, then we will we have another way. I will come there. It is in another 2 slides.
Mhm.
I don't want to break that surface.
Okay.
Anything else?
What if there is a conflict between
Hmm?
the one who is authorized to take a decision,
Okay.
like there are like 3 or 4 odd number of members,
Hmm.
and they want to place one. So 2 members want to place that particular feature on do now,
Hmm.
and the other members are want to place it exactly opposite as to don't do it.
Okay. Okay. So it is like 2 people sharing a same place. We will come there a little bit. This is also similar to if there is a lot of items in do now.
Okay.
So if we go to the next model, that is the Kano model, which is very simple. It will give you what is the basic expectation. This is nothing but what is your needs, without which we cannot proceed further. What is your basic needs, and what is it? What are all the items that would help satisfy my users? So the basic expectation is the must have. Satisfier would be your should have or could have. The delighter, sorry, satisfiers would be your should have. The delighters are could have, because not always all the delighters are absolute necessary. Not always. It is an USP of our product. Okay, so that is what I am desired to have. Okay, anything above that is, oops, sorry, is is absolute waste. It is of no need. It is like I want this maybe after 10 years. That kind of items we don't even take it immediately. But what we take is the basic expectation that our customer have. How do we come to this basic expectation in Kano? Before, if we are using Kano model, we typically in any prioritization model, we always talk to the customer, correct? So when you are talking to customers, they would be through surveys or through direct interviewing model or through any other questionnaire model. You will be having, sorry, you will understand what is their pain point and what is that they're expecting that solves the pain point, right? So that becomes your basic expectation. This is what the customer is expecting. Everything else is different. If it, let's take analogy of going, I'm going to a hotel. What is your basic need? You are going to a hotel at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. What is your basic need? Is honor muted, unmuted?
Food.
Food. Okay, anything else? Quick delivery, food. A fair price, perfect. Water, okay. Anything else? Room availability, okay. The table availability, okay.
Ambience?
Ambience, is it absolute need?
How about a bed?
Uh, what's that? I couldn't get it. Can you? Quality of food, okay. So if we take these answers just as a, okay, near your destination to visit, that's perfectly fine. So if you take this as a basic need, what is that you are needing? A quality food, fair price, and quick delivery of the food because you are hungry, right? But what is that you want? So that you can tell, hey, I had a good lunch. You can type in good experience, okay. Satisfying taste of food, perfect. Delicious food, okay. Well served, okay. A variety of food, okay. A bed to have good night's sleep. That's okay. That's in the evening. Okay, night, okay. Comfort bed, okay. Preferred cuisine, perfect. Tasty and quality food, taste of food. So
So based on the today's scenario, sanitization.
sanitization, that is, but that's an absolute need, right? That is the basic expectation now. See
Basically service.
correct.
Service also. Service.
Correct. Quick delivery and taste of food, tasty food. So tasty food, quick delivery, and fair price came in your basic expectation. Now with the current situation, your sanitized place, a very safe place to have, is also a basic need now. But what is the satisfier? My preferred food, the preferred cuisine, or the taste of the food, well served food. These things never came in our basic expectation, right? But what will delight you? What will delight you? That what will delight you to say, hey, this place is absolutely amazing. All coming in less price, free dessert, offer on my bill, perfect service, hospitality, crispy salad fresh from garden, perfect ambience, individual service, that is personalized service, drinks, discount. What else? Serving on time, happy hour, perfect. Hospitality, musical performance, someone to accompany with. Okay. A surprise gift, okay. Parking, sterilized cutlery or sterling cutlery. Kids entertainment. But how many places that you went for having lunch or a dinner had all these delighters? Privacy, perfect. Booth, only green park, okay. There is one variety. So if you see this list, oh, okay, I got it, AJK, thanks. So if you go in, if you see this list itself, do we see all these delighters in every hotel or every restaurant? Most of the cases, no, we don't see that. But there are exceptionally customer centric or user experience focused hotels or restaurants that all have these facilities. Many of them have valet parking or some musical performance, live music would be there, or at least uh, um, the background beats will be there, right? So these are delighters. It is an USP. When we ask, hey, where can we go? Hey, if we go in this place, we can have a calm, very serene kind of place to have our lunch. One or two. But every place that we went have the basic expectation met. Otherwise, we will not go. They lose the business. At least one or two satisfiers that they will have. So these are the, based on the survey just now which I did, the expectation, the ambient setup, everything is set. That is how our product is also planned for its priority. What is the basic expectation that is in this product? How many of you guys like Linux to use for every day? Not me. Okay. Two. How many of you guys like Linux to work for every day? See the comment, not user friendly, but Linux runs 98% of Fortune 100's company and their servers, their data centers, their everything. But how many of us like Windows or Apple? Everybody, almost, if I take 100 people as a survey, at least 99 people will like Windows. That 1% would be working on the server side most times. So why is that happening? It's a two different people type, the user type or personas. What happens there is because my basic expectation as a normal novice user is having easy usage. But for a power user, that jazzy UI, the sleek look may not be interesting for him. For him, or for them, let me be gender neutral, for them. So for that kind of scenarios, what happens is most of the times, the people who are working with the servers, the management and things like that, they tend to have a different expectation. But if you see Windows has a PowerShell, power user options, everything. At the same time, Linux too have XUI and all those stuffs. That is how our products are defined. Okay, this is just to tell you how we differentiate the satisfiers, basic expectation, and delighters. So the another model we have is story mapping. I think everybody would have known about visual story mapping concept. So story mapping is one of the best way to prioritize. Okay, so this is, in this model, all you do is, okay, what are all the major functionality, what are all the different functionalities, and what are the stories? Okay, who are all the personas? For this persona to do this particular activity, what is that person need to do? That's what the story map is about. And once the story map is done, we put, okay, we have only say 3 or 4 months period. What is that we can provide? There we start slicing the complete requirement. The entire slot will be sliced. Like if I take the Jamboard which we use, if I want to rearrange based on my preference, I would be doing in a different way. So story mapping is similar. Release 1, release 2, release 3. I can go any number of releases based on the necessity and time criticality. Based on that, we typically do that. This is another prioritization technique. Then pruning the product tree, and someone wrote it as a walking skeleton, which is kind of same. What we focus here is, we are the gardeners. we have all the requirements similar to your story mapping. We have all the requirements, and what we do is we place it. Is it mandatory? If it is mandatory, this is the place. If it is a future thing, we can do it later. Let it go in the top. So how it happens is the main trunk, which is the MVP of our product. The sub branches are the different categories or different features that supports the complete MVP. Now the leaves are nothing but the few features that can be either a current, the new one which we need immediately, or existing one, or the future ones. So now if you call your stakeholders and say, hey, place your features that are, where do you want to keep? Now what happens is people keep it, but you as a gardener, what do you do? Typically, if you are having a garden, what do you do to have a good growth?
We would usually cut it off.
We don't cut it off. That is the wrong way. We shape the tree or the plant in a way it can provide a better value. If you have a tomato plant, you might know it. If the tomato plant is growing so big with a lot of branches and things, the tomato that you will get will be very, very small. But if I want to get a bigger tomato, what the gardener does is he pruned the stems, a little bit of unwanted leaves and things like that to make it grow healthier. That is exactly what we are doing in prune the product tree. One example I found in web. This example is in the web. So I don't have a picture, so I used web. So they have done something similar to that. The next one is $100 method. This is very, very useful when people say all my features are important. This helps you this helps you to break that ice of every feature that I have given is important. Now all you need to ask is just say you have only $100. Tell me which are all the features you can, and put a value, dollar value to every feature. Now this can be worked with one stakeholders or multiple stakeholders. Now when you have only $100 and you have about 10,000 features, how many you can do? You are constraining the stakeholder who is asking. Now in this case, if there are two different stakeholders, say for marketing and support, they both are giving you a feature that says I need these. Now you throw $100 to them, you have $100, this feature will cost you this much, this feature will cost you this much. Tell me for $100 how much, which feature you need to deliver.
I had a quick question on
Yes.
this particular model.
Yeah.
Like for example, when we say that the $100 method talks about we have this particular value with us,
Yes.
and we would be able to deliver this amount of work. So tell me, what do you want? If for example, if we see in the RPA industry, we have a fixed structure that is already given to us that we are supposed to work upon.
Correct.
Right. So it's not something that we can remove from the process, or we can add into the process.
Correct.
Once we get a documentation stating that this is something that is how we are supposed to work on, this is the structure, and this is what the solution is, we are supposed to work on it. So over there we have been given all the information that we are supposed to work on.
Correct.
But then again, time becomes a big constraint, because the time that is given is quite less compared to the time that we can work upon.
Correct.
So how would we apply these methodologies in that aspect?
Okay, here the time is fixed, scope is also fixed, most other cases, right? So what you can do, you tell me, what you can do better. Forget about what the organization will say. What is the logical step that you can do?
We usually apply Scrum into the whole process.
Okay.
So what we do is, depending on the resources we have, for example, if we have comparatively higher number of resources,
Okay.
we tend to apply one more resource over there.
Okay.
We would be able to carry on a little burden with him or her, and then proceed with the whole development.
Right. So you are increasing the budget. Okay. Now let's say time is fixed, budget is fixed, and scope is also fixed. What is that you can tell to the client or the stakeholder? All
You
three are
basically
fixed.
ask them to redefine
Exactly.
the scope.
Exactly. So in your case, what would be the answer? Hey, you are telling I have this much of budget, this much, this is the process I need to automate, and this is the time I need to finish. But with our analysis, we cannot do X amount of work, but we can always do X minus Y. Now tell me, what is that we need to focus first? That this $100 is nothing but an analogy. You have $100 in your hand. Tell me how much you can buy. I can buy $10 item or $100 item. I cannot buy $110 item. Exactly, as someone wrote, outcome over output. Arya, yeah. So that is what we are focused on. Yeah. So what is the value? How I can maximize the value with the less amount of resources that I have? That is how it is. So when you are doing this, the tip to make them feel I have only 100. I'm not sure how many of you guys played game called Monopoly. There is a banker, and you are the player. For everything, the banker takes the money. Banker will never give the money. So you do the same thing with your stakeholder. You have $100. You just give $100 to them. Finally, get it back. Okay, but give that. Hey, I have this. Tell me which are all things you need. Just take the money from them. They will feel the pain, and they will then prioritize according to the maximum value, maximum need that they want. It's a game. You need to make them understand not everything is important. If everything is important, that means nothing is important. Now tell me which is the important. And we in a service industry, we hear clients saying everything is important. Use this to the client, then they will realize easily. Okay, this is the best method to break that ice. If you don't want $100, put it as 100 point, or even put it as $1,000. Perfect, because it's just a value that is constraining someone to have little but having more value. Okay. So any other questions in this? Can I move? Perfect. So the next one is ranking or ordering. This is nothing but put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a rolling number. Whichever you feel as important. It is similar to Moscow, but Moscow at least says must have. This is the must have, should have, and could have. Here it is just a number. And you call any level, any number as this. After this is everything is not needed. That's okay. Here the lesser the number is highest the priority, and higher the number is lesser the priority. That's the only thing here in the ranking or ordering. Now ordering is the better word which we have started using in terms of product backlog ordering. So next one is priority score, a priority scorecard. This is also similar to your WSJF. Many times we used to do this in the score. What is that we are getting? Because there may be multiple aspects to our requirements, multiple aspects towards our product. At the same time, I need to build a user efficiency, usage, sales. At the same time, I need to reduce the people who are in the system. I cannot do same work every day. Now, when you have such kind of thing, you now need to decide which is highest ranking for you. and based on that we rate. So for example, what gives you more money, yeah, in a
Get over
e-commerce?
here.
Yes,
Get. Misty.
Arya, I think you have something to say. Okay, so let's take an e-commerce, Amazon, let's say. What gives more money to them? Is it their design of the website, or the catalog, or the faster delivery, or the checkout, faster checkout? Which gives them more money? Catalog. Next, anything else? I have a great catalog, thousands of items, and it takes 5 minutes to check out. Which takes priority? Catalog plus delivery, user experience. Okay. Let me tell an experience. I did a freelance for some site. The site is very mundane. The pages is just like some text, one side a picture and some text, and there's a button. I offered them, I will do the redesign, I will do everything. If you are happy with the design and everything, I will, then you pay me. That's the deal I was doing, because I was doing freelancing. The 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 webmaster or the owner of that website told, Albert, I don't want any design change. If you can make the checkout faster, that's more than enough. Why? Because the people are not coming for the design look, the highest, best design. They are coming for buying things faster, right? So priority scorecard defines that for us. If you look at what is more important, based on that you can order the features and prioritize that. The highest number you get is again takes the highest precedence. Okay. Now the next one is RISE. Okay, the RISE is a very new. It's not new. It's not been used that much. Okay, this is also the same model like priority scorecard or WSJF, but in a different way. Here it is about, if I do this feature, what is my reach, which is nothing but your opportunity enablement, to be frank. What is the impact that we are bringing to the end user? What is that? How confident that we can finish this within the estimate that we are providing, which is nothing but your time criticality. Little bit, it's a linked one. What is the effort that we need to put? RISE clearly says the reach into impact into confidence by the effort. The higher the number, go ahead as a first priority. That's all is about RISE. It's similar to WSJF, but it always looks at as what is that reach I am getting, what is the impact, how am I going to impact with this feature. Faster delivery, how am I going to impact? Reach may be little less, but what is the impact I'm going to get? What is the impact I will have on the user if I redesign this website? Okay, this can be used even at the user story level, or at even deciding a product. Do we need to do this product? Okay, so the RISE or priority, the priority scorecard, or $100 method is for features. Ranking and priority and RISE are typically used for epics feature, that kind of levels where multiple people are coming and giving their requirements. Yeah. So while I was doing, this is the last one, and after that we can go for a question and answers. While I was doing this, there are a lot of research materials which I took. Some of them are very interesting. So I just put it as some resources. I will share all this information with you guys. That's no problem. And any questions you have, let me know. So you can also use Jamboard for that if needed. Questions? Give me a minute. I will unmute everyone again. Yeah. Yes, you are unmuted.
Okay, thank you. One minute. Thank you, Albert. A wonderful session. The common question that I keep coming across, and probably you should struggle to answer, is uh, how do you compute the value? People talk about business value, ROI, and all this. So how do they compute the value? This is
Okay.
something, yeah, probably if you can throw light.
That's a big topic, to be frank. And value is not fixed, to be frank. If you ask me what is the value of a product, I would say the money it is yielding for me. Okay. If I am adding some new feature, what is the return I am getting? That's what I look at as a value. But so if you ask a designer how impactful his design is, that is the value that he is providing. How easily using his how users are getting benefited by his design. That is the value. So value is a very broad term, and it is not always the money. It is not always the customer experience. It is not always the usage. The least used products tend to have higher value also. Recently, there was an internet down. There was about 70% of the traffic that has come through Cloudflare was having some DDoS attack, and because of that, some problem happened. You know what happened? We wouldn't even know that company. There was a company which works on a TCP/IP stack, and there was a recommendation from WSJF and the Internet Consortium saying that we need to switch to some X protocol for routing the traffic, that is the DNS traffic. There was a leak in their code. No one knows this. Suddenly, Cloudflare changed its model, and the complete Verizon was completely stumbled, and all the route which was routed went to a small startup type of company which couldn't able to handle. So value is not always the same. That's what I want to say. Okay, how to implement these different techniques related with maturity of the product? It is again depends what is it you are looking at, in my opinion. As I told, you can, how do I arrive at must-haves? I can use any one of these methods and say this is how I came to a conclusion of these are the must-haves. How the basic needs are must-haves. Kano gives you our highest WSJF numbers. That is another must-haves. Okay, so you can mix and match, and there is nothing like if it is a matured product, you need to use these techniques. You can use these techniques interchangeably for any type of product background. Yeah, I think everyone is on mute. Did I unmute everyone? If you want, if you have any questions, you can ask also. There is no problem. And also, I would like if you can contribute so that we have a discussion rather than monologue. And we have about 5 more minutes to close. So, any further questions?
Hi, Albert.
Techniques,
Yeah.
right? I understand these techniques will vary. It's in its own way the usage. But will there be any data like this particular technique is the most commonly used, something like that? That is one thing. And other thing is there any technique which can be used across product, as you said in the previous question? Whether I can work in a product or in an industry,
Okay.
across industry.
To my knowledge, let me put it in a disclaimer way. To my knowledge, whichever I have interacted with, most of them use the either WSJF or a Moscow.
Okay.
Most of them, okay. But there are people who are using other models. That is where if I go to the Jamboard, I can show the different models that we have used. These are the different models, and Kano is lot of times Kano is used, and Kano is best place to understand whether this product, what is this product need, because it involves a lot of things. Which one is data driven instead of assumption of a product owner? Again, the data driven is most of the times is WSJF, Kano, cost of delay, that is another model, and RISE. These are all data driven because there is a lot of data that is generated to substantiate that numbers. If I ask what is the cost of delay for a particular feature, you need to calculate a lot of things. What is the opportunity that you are going to bring if I put this? That's the data that you collect, and Kano is especially for that, or mainly for that. As someone, how can we come to a conclusion that if there is a conflict to use any technique, do we need to perform one or more? Yes, you can. Okay, the question here is how can we come to a conclusion if there is a conflict between two features? I need both these features at the same time. Use one combination of two techniques and uh, understand the priority. That is the better way. If you go, see, a support team is asking for, hey, I'm doing this particular X activity every day in, day out. If you can fasten it, or if you can automate, or if you can give better way, it would be great. I need it immediately so that I can save some X amount of time. This is a requirement. Same time, marketing team or sales team is coming up with, hey, if I have this particular feature delivered by this X time, I can sell a little bit more. Both are needed, but what is most needed today? Okay, so that is what that is where your other methods like WSJF, Kano, sorry, not Kano, this one, value versus effort, your RISE, all those things will come and impact. If I put RISE, what is the reach of support team's request? Will be very small because it's an internal team, but a sales team will be higher. So there you will have the better understanding about your own feature that you're asking. Okay, that's how we typically do it. So any other questions? If there are no other questions, we can wind up for the day. Or if you have questions, let me know. We can discuss. Or these techniques could be implemented when we want to pick which one comes first to validate hypothesis. These techniques could be implemented. See, if it is a hypothesis, you are already in a questioning area, right? You do not know whether this is needed or not. That time, typically we go for a value versus effort. What is the outcome of that particular hypothesis that we are expecting? How quickly we can get it? That's how we typically go. And at what point in the cycle do you apply these techniques? Every day. I'm sorry, time up. Give me a minute. You should use this in day out. It can be, all these things can be used to prioritize your user stories, prioritize your even the task that you need to finish for a particular story or a feature that is coming in, or an epic. It can be used in anywhere. There's nothing like you need to do this only this time. How as a scrum master we can contribute in prioritization? Teach your product owners. Teach your product owners about these. There is a lot of prioritization models. Someone even gave one of the model is PUGH. It is used in the Six Sigma, which is also a very good model. And you educate so that they take an informed decision. If you go to SAFe, they say based on economic framework. That is informed decision. This is what I am doing, this is what I'm expecting, and this is what the impact is. So instead of, as Arya was asking, what is that we can what is the technique which uses data? Always data speaks for us ourselves, sorry, itself. Sounds like any team member can use these techniques. Yes, they can. They can, and to be frank, a team member also can question, hey, are you sure this is most important? Do we need to focus on changing the UI, or can we add this checkout, or can we add a different method of paying? The team can always ask. I think we sometimes overuse the models even if they are not needed. At the end of the day, it is gut feel. Neither the business value nor the estimations are accurate. Absolutely, Anand. Absolutely. Yes, Anand, you can talk. You are unmuted. Okay. Now, can you? Unmute. Hey, yeah.
Hey, hi.
Yes.
It was a great session. You and I have been dealing with these prioritization problems in my organization. I am an agile coach in one of the. See, at the end of the day, I did work with WSJF, and we did struggle. And we, at the end of the day, we went with the gut feel. I get questions like this. We already know that what we want to do, and this WSJF is not telling me that this has to be my priority. So they are clear about their priority. Then why do WSJF is my point. See, it is, I'll give you the same example which you gave. Whether I should listen to my heart or whether I should listen to the wife. It is absolutely clear we have to listen to the wife, right? You can't listen to your own heart and bring out trouble in your life. So the question comes whether you have to listen to your mother or whether you have to listen to your wife. Now,
Okay.
question mark, right? Then you have to use these prioritization techniques. And that is how I tell my folks also, like whether you want to deliver a higher value of higher time or a lowest value of lowest time.
Okay.
There is a confusion here. So
Okay.
that you use these techniques, but don't use it for each and everything. When you are clear that in next 3 months, these are your customer commitments and you have to do it, why unnecessarily break your head in getting the numbers in the way you want? So that is what I want to say, the first thing.
Okay.
And like WSJF is most commonly used, but if you look at the business value, opportunity enablement, risk reduction, time criticality, these are all your gut feel numbers and relative in nature.
Okay.
And the next thing is size. This size, you refer to a lot of theory or literature, they tell you can only get to up to 70% accuracy.
Yeah.
But what about 30% deviation?
True.
Right? So why not? At the end of the day, they are gut feel. So I definitely want these folks not to spend too much of time on prioritization and estimations things. So things may or may not work in your way, but use these techniques only when you are a lot of confusion.
Correct. That is absolutely right. If you're going to put a lot of effort to prioritize only, you're delaying your project. Rather, take one and take the action and go forward. That is better way at any point of time.
I think perfection is the major hurdle to your progress. So
Correct.
don't try to be perfect in everything.
That is
That's what I
that's
wanted
absolutely right.
my folks here.
Shushan was asking about what about the government projects or government projects? How can we apply these? Susan, in government projects also typically, the requirement would be very very broad, but then they do have what is that they want to focus on first. Try getting that information, and then you can use any of these models to build it. Okay, it is not all. See, when we are looking at this, is not to decide whether to go with X or Y. Rather, we are saying which is to be taken first. Okay, but then in government projects, most of the times it is fixed. Most of the times, I need X items. That is where, like Anand said, if everything is prioritized by them, that I need X, Y, Z, and A, go ahead, take your own model to do it. The reason why I'm not able to give a right answer is I never worked on a government project. That's one thing. So if there is anybody who worked on government project or handled government project can contribute, it would be great. If not, I will find an answer and I will get back to you, Susan. Yeah. So we are delayed by about 10 minutes. I would like to close the session for today, and we will catch up in another 2 weeks in a different topic. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Albert.
Thank you.